AC day. So they're mounting these wall units. Which come through and then need to be connected to those lines. You can be on YouTube. You'd be famous. You can be on YouTube. You signed the male model waiver, right? Yeah. They're working really fast, so I don't even want to slow them down. So the two units up there will be connected to those lines, which come down to here. Then these wires, there's two sets of these, are basically power the fans up in the upper units and communication. And then you got a high and low line for the bigger one and a high and low line for the smaller one. So these are the kitchen. And then this is the bedroom. Then all those are going to be connected into here. So this could actually take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those air handlers, or the smaller units for upstairs, the evaporators basically. But we're just going to use 2. And then this is going to take the main big power that comes from the electrical panel. So that I now have run, I just put this box in right now. So this box has the 30 amp 240 wires here. You can see they're black and kind of like gray, and then ground. And then this is the appliance whip. That's basically the gray becomes a white, the black becomes a black, the ground becomes a green, and it's going to whip down here, and then all these are kind of going to get run together and hooked up to this unit, which is going to be on the pad. And I need to bring in some material right now to get that pad up a little higher, because it needs to be higher than the patio. So it's going fast. I think it's probably like 10 something, and these guys start at maybe about 9, so they're rolling. So I'm not gonna slow them down, but it should be working today. So I just, got some rough chunks of cement and stucco and whatnot, and then laid this sand out and just leveled it. Level. So I'm pretty much ready to put the plastic pad on and just have this spot, will be its own right up to the concrete. So I won't pour a concrete pad, it'll be the plastic pad sitting on the sand and rock bed. Should work pretty good. So making some more connections. Got basically the main 30 amp 240 lands here through that appliance whip. The other 2 wires are from the units. One of them is going to the A controls, and the other one we're going to land on C, because the lines are going to go to A, and the other B is a little large, and the smaller unit's got to go to C. So A and C, wiring up and getting ready to flare those and hook it up. I'll show you what I got going upstairs. So before I run up, I just button this up. So these wires will kind of run along this liquid tight conduit. And then I'm not going to do this myself. It's part of the AC bid. They're going to cut these and flare them and then attach them to these fittings, basically right here. So that'll be the large one, AA. B is a big one that we don't need. That's going to go C, C. And then I'll show you where those go. Inside. So the A is going to go to the back of this big unit, and then, which is like just short of a 2-ton, and then the B, or the C actually, is going to go to the back of this unit, which is more like a 1-ton. Well, they're already connected, but they go through the wall, because this was originally, as designed, pre-construction. We built it in with the construction. So those lines are not run after the fact. So they come from inside the studs of the wall, A and C. Then what also has to happen up here, the wires that I just made the connections for A and C, are already wired into the back of the units that are wall mounted. Mounting the wall units was very simple. It's just a bracket and a template. And then this white tube and that white tube are the condensation drains. They need to get run into this, which then runs around and into the wall. And then that is coming down here to this box, and that's gonna, condensate drain is gonna go through this drain, which is gonna get teed in with the washer. So it's clean. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's gonna be very efficient. It's a good setup, but they ran out of time for today, so I'm gonna, you know, finish the wiring and do what I can. And then they had a lot of, it's like 100 degrees. They had a lot of service calls. So it was like either finish this one and blow off 5 other calls, or I said, nah, go take care of your other calls and come back tomorrow or Sunday or something. It's just Friday today. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get the last couple connections flared, attached, get the, oops, my butterfingers dropped the screwdriver, get the last couple connections flared and attached, and then the drains, and then, oh shoot, I better call him. He left his refrigerant here. So actually that's just nitrogen. So this is what they're going to use to flush the lines out. The refrigerant is pre-charged in the unit, so that'll be pretty cool to see how that goes. I'm going to call him up right now. All right, fittings are all set, all wired in, or, you know, connected, wired, everything. And got the vacuum pump on, pulling the whole system into a vacuum to evacuate any moisture. And we can also check for leaks, or we can check for leaks using this dry nitrogen. It's just nitrogen, but nitrogen is dry by definition, rather than pressurizing it with air and ending up with moisture in there. So it's pretty neat. A little different than automotive, the stuff I do. So the micron gauge is showing the amount of vacuum drawn. Pretty cool. All right, everything's up and running. So this thing is really quiet. Just barely hear it running. It's pretty cleaned up. I may tie these together a little bit different, or, you know, neaten it up a little bit, but it's all running. And it's been running for about an hour, maybe closer to 2, like an hour and a half or so. I've been out here grading for the patio, and it's looking pretty wet. I'm gonna let it go a little bit longer. I'm just shocked. I mean, it's a freaking 100 out here, and like the second I step in here, it's like way colder. Like even way down, all the way down the stairs, it's substantially cooler. These things are cranking. Like, I'm gonna say, I don't know, it hasn't even been really running all that long. It's a nice small unit, and it's cool in here. Hard to go back outside. I mean, this room especially, this room is almost like kind of frigid. It's pretty cold in here. But I'm not really complaining right now. So you got another load of sand, moving stuff with that. But these things are really nice, and they're not ugly. I was afraid they'd be, you know, kind of ugly up on the wall, but they're pretty small. We were able to put them up high. These are the high wall ones, and I can feel the air blowing right here, especially with this fan on. It's nice. This is way nicer than our house central AC that's ducted, for sure. So yeah. Pretty happy with the midea. So they have all the timers and adjustments and schedules and all that type of stuff on here. Just got to make a plan for where I'm going to mount this on the wall, but it's feeling pretty good in here.